Hello, this is Randy for morganlights.com. In this video, we're going to give an update on one of our elements, star shower pole. I'll call it SPP. In an earlier video, we had showed how we were making the stars out of a metal frame that we were welding together, and then we would zip tie the pixels to that frame. And the zip tie process proved to be very slow, and also it was difficult to keep the pixels lined up and keep them in facing the direction we wanted them to be. So my wife actually came up with an idea of 3D printing the stars. We designed this so that basically the stars are components. Each point is printed separately because of limitations on our printer, but basically they snap together to create the star points. 3 stars per pole. So now the assembly of this is very much like we had described before. We have rigid conduit, electrical conduit here, and we drill 3 holes in that conduit. Once we have our holes drilled, then we're ready to assemble the holders for the stars. There's 2 versions here. I should mention that the stars themselves that are black are printed with ABS material, and the star holders are printed with PLA. And both components are being sprayed with a UV protectant. The filament is not UV rated, so I wanted to give it a little more protection. So I sprayed these and let them dry before I assembled it. For each of the middle and the bottom stars, it takes 2 connectors, and they simply slide onto the pole, and they're spaced in such a way that it matches the gap that comes from the PVC clip. So you slide 4 of these onto the pole and then 1 on top. And then we can go through the process of attaching the PVC clip in the 3 locations on the pole, and then the lighted PVC pole will simply snap into place. We'll slide that down, give us a little flexibility here, like that, and that will hold it in place. And again, this electrical conduit basically is giving me some rigidity. If the wind blows or something like that, it's not so floppy. You can see with this PVC, it's got a lot of spring to it. So the electrical conduit gives me some rigidity. It's longer so that it'll actually have area to go into the ground. So the stars will zip tie in place, and you can see from here the reason that this is spaced higher is I need room for the lights to be able to hang down and not strike the conduit. And then the top one, which is shorter, put it in place here on top. You can actually see that when I attach the star to the top. Those top points, which are the only ones hitting the pole, are actually up here and don't need that extension. So just saves a little material. I could print them all the same size, but don't need to do that for the top. So once these are in place, I zip tie the stars to it, and the stars will already have lights in it. And so the finished product, I have one here. You can see from here, I've got it zip tied in place. I've got 35 pixel nodes per star. I've got the LED strip inside of this pole, and then I've got, as you can see here, the communication power line strapped to the back, both feeding out the bottom for connection to the controller. So now what I'll show you is I'll actually show you a couple of these in action, just with some test patterns going across them, just so you get a sense of what they look like.